Republicans believe New York just gave them campaign commercials. Every Republican consultant in America right now is already thinking about how to use Mandamis and the Democratic Socialist primary results against the Democrats in the South, or even national platforms for the 2028 presidential election run.
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Damon K. Jones here at the Publisher's Desk, powered by Black Westchester Magazine and blackwestchester.com. I am so happy to be back in front of my brothers and sisters in Black America. And I was away for 2 weeks. I took staycation. Had a lot going on. My wife's birthday, my 18th anniversary, my son's birthday, and my grandbaby graduating from kindergarten. So we were handling the Jones family business. But today's Publisher's Desk, this is a part one of a 2-part series. It's just that long, and examining the recent wins of the Democratic Socialists of the Democratic Socialists. I wanted to examine it. What does it mean for Black America? What does it mean for Black New Yorkers? My earlier piece, I discussed the difference between the Democratic Socialists of America, the Democratic Party, and the Working Families Party. And today I'm going to get deeper into it because since New York's Democratic primary, almost every political discussion has centered, brothers and sisters, around one question: who won, right? The media is talking about Zoran Mandami and his influence. They're talking about Democratic Socialists of America. They're talking about the Democratic Party moving further to the left in states, in blue states, just in blue states now. They're talking about New York politics. I think they're asking the wrong question, brothers and sisters, and I'll tell you why. The question isn't who won New York. The question is, did New York just hand Republicans one of the most powerful campaign messages heading into the 2026 midterm election? Because if the answer is yes, brothers and sisters, then what happened in New York won't stay in New York. It could influence House races in Georgia, North Carolina, congressional districts in Pennsylvania, swing voters in Michigan, independent voters in Wisconsin, suburban families in Arizona and Nevada. That's why I believe this conversation is much bigger than New York City. This is about political strategy, brothers and sisters. This is about messaging. This is about branding. And most importantly, this is about understanding how elections are actually won. Within hours of the Democratic primary, senior House Majority Leader Steve Scalise stood before reporters during the House Republican leadership press conference and declared that Mandami's takeover of the Democratic Party is official. He argued that the Democratic Party had become unrecognizable and had full embrace socialism.
And last night we saw the Democrat Party usher in their new leader. We've been talking about this for weeks, but it was made official. When the city of New York elected Zoran Mandami, he became the new leader of the Democrat Party. And while the Democrat Party had no problem making the shift to socialism, which they embraced wholeheartedly, led by Hakeem Jeffries and others here, America, mainstream Americans, blue dog Democrats across America have not embraced socialism. America is not a socialist nation. You know, when the speaker mentioned that, is it any surprise that last night blue states voted blue? We're talking Virginia, New Jersey, New York. By the way, none of those were swing states. You had 7 swing states in the election a year ago today. And Democrats will continue to give the hollow promises of socialism that come along with the failures of socialism that it truly delivers for people. And yeah, people in New York, when they realize how bad socialism is, they can just leave like they've been doing for years. They can move to states like Florida, to Texas. They can even come to Louisiana. But if they ruin America, if they're able to take hold with socialism in America, where else are people going to go?
Now, brothers and sisters, whether we agree with Scalise or completely disagree with him is not the point of today's discussion. The point is that Republicans have already decided what story they are going to tell America. They are not treating New York as a local election. They're treating New York as the future of the Democratic Party. And that's where I believe, brothers and sisters, the political conversation changes. You see, politics is not simply about elections. Politics is about defining your opponent before they define themselves. Every successful political campaign understands this. If you can successfully brand your opponent in the minds of voters, you already won half of the battle before the campaign really begins. I believe that's exactly what the Republicans are trying to do. They don't have to convince America that every Democrat is a Democratic Socialist. They don't have to prove that every candidate agrees with the Democratic Socialists of America. They only have to convince enough voters, brothers and sisters, that the Democratic Party is moving in that direction. That is politics. That's the messaging. That's the branding. And whether Democrats think that's fair is almost irrelevant, because campaigns are not one based on fairness. They're one based on persuasion. Now, think about that for a moment. Where is the battle for control of Congress actually going to be fought? It's not going to be in Manhattan. It's not going to be in Brooklyn. It's not going to be in the Bronx. Not the districts that have already voted overwhelmingly Democrat or even overwhelmingly Republican. The control of the House and Senate will be decided in competitive districts and competitive states like Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada. These are the states Republicans are talking about. Those are the states Democrats should be thinking about. And those are the states filled with voters who are very different from the Democratic primary voters in New York City. Many of those voters are independents. Many of those voters are suburban families. Many are veterans. Many attend church. They're church-loving people. Many own businesses. Many work in law enforcement, construction, manufacturing, education, healthcare, and skilled trades. They are not sitting around debating political ideology every day. They're trying to figure out how they're going to pay their mortgage, their groceries, college for children, how they're going to keep their neighborhood safe, how they're going to prepare for retirement. And those voters, those type of voters in the South, decide Congress. That brings me to what I believe, brothers and sisters, is the biggest mistake many of these political commentators are making. They're assuming that this election was about New York. Republicans don't believe that. I don't believe it. Republicans believe New York just gave them campaign commercials. Every Republican consultant in America right now is already thinking about how to use mandamus and the Democratic Socialist primary results against the Democrats in the South, or even national platforms for the 2028 presidential election run. Every Republican campaign manager is thinking how to connect the Democratic candidates running in competitive districts to what happened in New York. Whether those Democratic candidates supported New York's progressive movement may not even matter. If Republicans can convince independent voters today that the Democratic Party is represented by the most progressive voices, they have already changed the conversation. And that's what matters in elections nationally. Think about this, brothers and sisters. New York, I did a video, and you could look on the list, but I want y'all to think. New York just passed a bill that will take mother and father off birth certificates. They passed a Democratic Socialist platform here in New York. Are we assuming that every state will want to follow suit? Is that the agenda that they have for every state, to take mother and father off of birth certificates and put non-gestating parent for the father and put gestating parent for the mother? That is an issue independent voters are going to have to discuss. And that's the issue Democratic candidates in every state is going to have to answer. Do you agree with that policy? Yes or no? And this is the conundrum that the Democratic Socialists of America, the Democratic Socialists in New York, have put the Democratic Party in. And does Black America want to be tied to that foolishness? As I close this first part, I want you all to think about one question. What if the Republicans aren't trying to win the argument inside New York? And what if the Republicans are trying to win the argument everywhere else? Just those issues alone. Could you, as a Black person, actually go and click the lever in support of a candidate who's willing to take mother and father off the birth certificate? This is the problem that the Democratic Socialist has given the National Republican Party. See, Republicans know that. They know that they don't have to convince America that every Democrat is a socialist. They only have to convince enough swing voters that the Democratic Party is moving in that direction. And New York is giving them the prime example. If they succeed, brothers and sisters, could influence the congressional races from Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. But this conversation isn't about Republicans. The bigger question is whether Democratic Socialists of America and the progressive movement has actually delivered measurable results for the people they claim to represent. For Black America, that question is even more important to what the Democrats are doing. But I want to explain how what the Democratic Socialists in New York is how they're creating the atmosphere for the Republicans on the national level. But for Black America, has the socialist movement historically created Black wealth? Has it increased Black business ownership? Has it strengthened Black families? Has it improved educational outcomes in Black communities? Or has it simply offered another political ideology without producing long-term economic independence that the Black community needs? Those are not emotional questions. Those are outcome-based questions. That's exactly why we're going to examine this in part 2. I'm going to challenge everybody who's watching this, especially the supporters of the Democratic Socialist movement. I'm going to ask a question that I don't believe has been answered honestly. And I'm going to explain why I believe Black America should judge every political movement, not by its promises, not by its intention, but by its results. So make sure you catch on to part 2. That's when the fire is going to start burning. And if you enjoy this conversation, take a moment and subscribe. Go over to blackwestchester.com and check us out. Sign up to our mailing list and get a free ebook download. Share this video to your family and friends, because whether you are a Democrat, Republican, independent, or politically undecided, these are the conversations that deserve thoughtful discussions in Black America. I'm Damon K. Jones, the publisher of Black Westchester magazine, and I'll see you on part 2. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay blacktastic. Peace out.
Black America, political loyalty without results is not power. Sign up and get your free ebook by Damon K. Jones. A seat at the table is not power. Building the table is. This book exposes how political dependence weakened our communities and lays out a blueprint for Black economic, political, and institutional sovereignty. If you're ready to move from symbolism to ownership, this is for you. Download it free today. Follow Damon K. Jones on YouTube and stay connected to empowering conversations that challenge the mind, strengthen the spirit, and uplift the community. Subscribe to Black Westchester YouTube and at Damon Jones on YouTube for powerful content on life, culture, community, faith, politics, health, and truth that makes you think for yourself. If you're serious about political clarity and independent thinking, this is for you. The Political Thought Bundle includes 3 full books, all personally singling. Democrats and Republicans, the Ultimate Gangbangers, breaks down how the two-party system operates like a legalized street war for power. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure exposes how emotion has replaced strategy in Black political engagement. Tolerance is for Cowards lays out a blueprint for extended policing and community-led public safety rooted in outcomes rather than slogans. 3 signed books. 1 bundle, $60. That's a $75 value, and you're getting signed copies included. This isn't left versus right. It's results versus rhetoric. Go to twosteppublishing.com and secure your signed Political Thought Bundle today. It's going to be blacktastic. For more than a century, Black America built its own economy under segregation, under discrimination, and under conditions most people today cannot imagine. We built businesses. We built banks. We bought land and property. In the Forgotten Blueprint, Damon K. Jones reveals how Black communities created thriving economic systems from 1800 to 1965, and why that blueprint still matters today. This book challenges the idea that our future depends on politics alone and shows how ownership, family, and enterprise once powered Black prosperity. The blueprint is not lost. We just stopped using it. The Forgotten Blueprint, how Black America built its own economy from 1800 to 1965. On sale now at Two Step Publishing and Amazon. Black Westchester magazine has been giving our community a voice, reporting the stories others ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our communities is told by us. But independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in real journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong in local news, we need your help. Your donation helps us continue covering the stories that matter: politics, education, justice, and economic empowerment right here in Westchester. Support Black media, support Black truth, support Black Westchester magazine. Donate today and help keep Black media alive. Because Black-owned independent media is blacktastic. Black Westchester magazine presents People Before Politics, the Sunday Rundown, every Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Join Damon K. Jones, AJ Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as they break down the biggest stories in politics, culture, and community from a Black point of view. No spin, no party loyalty, just logic, accountability, and outcomes. If it impacts Black America, we're talking about it. Tap in, subscribe, set your reminder. This Sunday at 6 p.m. is going to be blacktastic.
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.